Amazing stuff right there. Keziah Jones burst into the scene in the 90s, and since then he has taken the world by storm with his amazing music, and now he's in Kenya to perform for you. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning, Kobi.
Pleasure to have you here, Mr. Jones.
Nice
Hi, Rashid. How are you?
I'm very good, sis.
Amazing. So this festival started yesterday officially.
Yes,
and it goes on
night.
up to tomorrow.
We started last night at Thursday Night Live at Choices, and we had an artist from Botswana named Kabuleburu. And tonight we have Mr. Jones, with our good friend Maya as an opening act. And then tomorrow, the afternoon, a whole series of artists as well.
Okay, we'll talk in more detail about this festival. Mr. Jones, welcome to Kenya.
Thank you.
Is this your first time?
Yes, it is.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to have you. Tell us a little bit, of course, about your influences starting out and looking at your journey over the last decade or so. How has it been for you?
It's been all right. It's been an interesting journey. I mean, I started off very unorthodox, taught myself guitar, piano, drums, and I left school very young and started playing. And most of my influences are people like Fela Kuti, Jimi Hendrix, a lot of the Black American music as well, like Funkadelic, George Clinton.
Yeah.
I try to Africanize that whole idea of like trying to present another idea of African identity. For example, my last album was called Captain Rugged. It's about a Nigerian superhero. But essentially my music is it's percussive funk. I play the guitar like a bass, like a drum, and basically everything is involved in this particular thing right here.
Right. Is talking, of course, about having all these influences in your music, but really trying to distinctly ensure that there is an African sound and that Africans actually hear that. Tell me a little bit about that and how developing that over the years has been.
Well, Fela was the main character that I followed and modeled myself on, in the sense that he is from Abeokuta, where I'm from, but he involved jazz, funk, a bit of blues in his music to create a sort of a modern. He called it Afrobeat. I call my music blue funk, which is essentially trying to reclaim the blues, reclaim the jazz, reclaim the funk, bring it back to that West African coast, and return it again, resell it back to them. So that's what I've done, and I call it blue funk essentially because I had to find a way to accompany myself when I used to play on the street. I left school very young. I used to play on the street in London and Paris. And I got lucky. I got signed. I had an album deal, and I got my albums out. But essentially, it's the African element that makes it different from everything else. And you'll hear that in the guitar.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll be performing for us in just a second. But Rashid, the lineup that you have for this year's festival is an interesting one. Give us a background of Cool Waters and the conceptualization of this platform.
Yeah, thanks for asking that. It's been a couple of years running, in the mind. I've been working in the event and music industry in Nairobi now for the last 7 years, playing music as well. And I've always wanted to curate a festival of my, to curate one. And so it's been in the head. Nairobi means a place of cool waters. So, cool waters, jazz and roots.
Amazing. Now, looking at, of course, the lineup and getting artists such as Keziah Jones in Kenya, and then the wonderful lineup you have from across the continent. Tell me a little bit about what it takes to achieve that.
Well, actually, some of it is fortuitous. Last year, I was in Lagos for the Felabration. It's a festival that happens, and I met a DJ who is good friends with Keziah, and we interacted. I told him, I saw Keziah in Europe 3 years ago. Oh yeah, Keziah's in Lagos. So let's try to link you up. So some phone calls were made. We weren't actually able to meet in Lagos at that time, but then followed up with emails, and Keziah was interested to come to East Africa.
Excellent.
So that that was good magic.
Right here, exactly.
He's right here in presence.
Keziah, tell me a little bit, of course, about that opportunity. You've performed everywhere, but that opportunity, hearing about this festival and coming to Kenya for the first time, what was going through your mind?
Well, I spent a lot of years touring in Europe, and I think that the idea will be is to express myself. I've been playing a lot in Nigeria, played in Ghana, a bit of an Ivory Coast. Mali as well, but the idea is to express myself more here. I mean, more in Africa, so that at least the music can be understood a lot easier. And when I got the opportunity to come, I thought, why not? Let me come and check it out, have a look, present myself, see what's up.
Okay. Tell me a little bit, of course, about the other artists who will be performing between today and tomorrow.
Okay, well, the opening act tonight is Maya Vonleko, a singer-songwriter, wonderful artist. And of course, Keziah will be the headline act tonight. He's actually the headline artist for the festival.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow in the afternoon, starting around 3 p.m. at the Elephant on Kanjata Road in Lavington, we're going to have a family-friendly afternoon of music into the night. Of course, the kids got to go home, but you know.
Yeah.
Opening act tomorrow is going to be a acoustic singer, songwriter named Tetu Tutuma. So he brings his like Maasai roots element in his music. And then we have Achenga Bura, you know, a wonderful songstress and a veteran in the Kenyan music scene. Following Acheng, we have Eddie Gray, jazz guitarist, very innovative player as well. And then to close out the night, we have Frank Biong from Cameroon, who is pulling together a Pan-African band right here in Nairobi.
Right.
They're rehearsing today and yesterday, and they'll be performing around 8:30 tomorrow night.
Now, gentlemen, and both of you can come in on this one. The festival, you know, in terms of music festivals globally have done really well. And now in Kenya and in Africa, we're really starting to see people really connecting to live music and live performances and embracing our very own. When you look at the growth of jazz, when you look at the growth of music festivals in Kenya, are we doing well, or is there still a lot of room for growth, in your own opinion?
I mean, I think it's been a wonderful last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
I've seen the platforms that have opened up for artists, the people who are working so hard to present artists. I mean, it's been a phenomenal growth. So I think we're on a really good trajectory.
Right.
I feel like what we need now is to have more different types of music happening. So curating Cool Waters Jazz is like, let me bring different elements of African music that maybe the Nairobi audience really hasn't really clicked into or clued into.
Right.
And present it for them, yeah.
Amazing. How do you feel, Keziah, that the music scene within the continent has really kind of grown? And is there still a lot of room for improvement?
Yeah, I mean, well, coming from Nigeria, I've seen the explosion in Nigerian sort of pop, which is a great thing. What is also happening more recently is like singer-songwriters and instrumentalists coming out of Lagos, which we're trying to support. I do a thing with Ineka, another Nigerian artist. We do a thing called Lagos Underground, supporting Nigerian singer-songwriters, people who actually control an instrument. So I think that's one of the major things Lagos used to be known for the bands.
Yeah.
And that kind of went down a little bit in the most recent years. But ultimately it's good. I mean, there's so many different things coming out right now. It's great, from the electronic music scene to even some rock scene.
Yeah, it's there.
You know, it's we always have something new to offer, man. So I think
absolutely. Guys, we have Mary on the line who'd like to say hi. Good morning.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Thank you so much for calling, love. You have say hi to my guests first of all.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Mary.
You have a question or comment, love?
I actually have a comment.
Go ahead, darling.
I never listened to jazz,
Oh,
but that song that played before the guest entered
yeah.
has actually made me change my mind about it. I
Yay.
listening to it because of it.
Oh, thank you, Mary. Yeah, now you have to get his albums. He's got 6. Thank you so much. So listen, you're in Embu. Do you plan on coming to Nairobi for this festival? Is she still there? All right, I think she just wanted to compliment your
nice
song.
one.
Yeah, you've transformed her completely. The song that we just listened to, what is it about?
Rhythm is Love. That was from my first album. It's essentially talking about the African element in music is a universal thing that you find everywhere. Rhythm is love, and that's really what the song's about.
All right, looking at your 6 albums, between your first and the latest one, tell us a little bit about, in terms of metamorphosizing musically and your growth, how that has been.
There's been a lot of evolution. I mean, like the first album, obviously, the very first one you make, it's lyrically quite innocent, you know, quite idealist. Second one was very intense. I went into sort of a funk rock area, because at that time there was a lot of things happening on that type of style. Third one was more kind of symphonic, with strings and much more broader chords. And then I went into a lot of stuff talking very directly about Nigeria. After one's called Nigerian Wood, and then the last one's called Black Orpheus. And then, so basically, there's been an evolution musically and conceptually as well, up to this last one, which is like about a superhero. From the first one about, you know, singing about love and, you know, ideas and things like that, to became more singing about Nigeria, ultimately to a futuristic idea about a superhero. So there's been a musical evolution and a conceptual evolution as well over all the albums.
Awesome. Now, of course, in terms of the artists that you've brought together and them working together and collaborating, one of the things that I have to ask is, you know, there's so many up-and-coming artists who feel that there isn't enough room for them. You know, why aren't there? How do they get on this lineup? How do they get involved to collaborate with international artists? It seems just very difficult for the up-and-coming artists, and I don't know what it is that they may be doing wrong. Maybe Rashid, you can shed some light on that.
Well, I don't really think anybody's doing anything wrong.
Okay.
I think people just need to keep doing what they're doing and keep getting better at it.
Yeah.
We have an industry that is still, I guess, in development, I would say. We have issues where platforms, and specifically since we're on a media station here, there's a local content provision that's coming up in the music policy in Kenya, which is going to determine that 60% of the music played on television and radio is going to be from Kenyan artists. Once we open this door, then the Kenyan audience will get to hear a lot more different types of Kenyan music, so there'll be more space for artists to come up. On the side of international artists versus local artists, I think basically the palette of African music is large. For us in Nairobi, especially if you're a young musician, being able to like check out on stage live someone else from another part of the continent doing their thing at a very high level can only serve to inspire anyone. Secondly, on top, to add to that, I mean, there's mentors as well in this scene, and I think if you're a young artist and you're reaching out, there are people that can actually support you.
Yeah.
What we have more challenges is getting the governance sector to actually invest. And I'm hopeful. I'm not going to be things are always negative. I feel like we continue to lobby for the rights of artists to earn a living. And getting on a lineup like this means that you've actually put quite a bit of time in your work and in your craft. But there are many other platforms that can get you up to speed with your work so that, by the time you've done 2 or 3 albums or even 1 album, okay, wow, you're ready for it. Let's go for that.
Okay, thank you for that. Keziah, you work with young artists in terms of showing them technique, mentorship. Tell us a little bit about that and why it means so much to you.
I started teaching I decided to start teaching about 4 years ago because I realized that what I was doing, even though I called it Blue Funk and I got some success and I toured and all this stuff, there was a need to kind of codify it. I'm self-taught, so I had to find a way to codify it and actually lay it down so it can be passed on, rather than just be a sort of a word of mouth. I have to be able to explain what I'm doing.
Go ahead, yeah.
So I work with a guitar manufacturer in France. I've built an actual guitar. It's called a Rugged One.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd come with it, but people will get to see that one tonight. Yeah? Okay.
That sort of, how do you say, encapsulated all my style in a guitar. And then from there, we did a series of videos where online, as iMusic School, you can go online and download these short classes that describe the technique that I call Blue Funk. And then also, I built a studio in Lagos like 2 years ago. The idea is to produce people who are singer-songwriters. The idea is to kind of get beyond the technological thing and get people to play instruments. So yeah, so I teach. Essentially, the guitar, nowadays it's like considered a rock and roll instrument.
Yeah.
But originally, it was a very sort of a black, an African instrument, essentially.
Yeah.
So coming from Nigeria, being Yoruba, Yorubas are known for their percussion, essentially. So what I've done is just translated that percussion onto the guitar. Something as simple as this, maybe when I used to play on the street, I'll do this first to get attention from people.
Yeah.
You can do that on the street. People will gather around and wonder what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
And secondly, you can have something more like a funk jazz thing like this.
Wow.
You can do that, or you can get into something more like a Latin vibe. song we heard on the video festival.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Beautiful.
I mean, it's just funk. It's Yoruba percussion and it's guitar work presented in a manner that's like Afro funk.
Beautiful.
Essentially.
All right, you will perform a little bit for us at the very end. But we have another caller on the line as we wind up. His name is Anthony. Good morning.
How are you, Kobi?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you so much for calling, love. You have a question or comment?
No, I would like you to give me a ticket to go and participate.
Yay!
Only I've not gotten time to at least listen to jazz, and this weekend I'm free, so I'm requesting kindly, Kobi, you give me a ticket to go and listen to jazz.
Anthony, you're my homie. Me, I'm gonna hook you up. Rashid, tell him tell us about the concert. When is it happening?
Okay.
The festival. When is it happening? Where? And where can he get the tickets?
Okay.
Well, I just switched on my TV and I saw jazz sing and
You're like, that one, I'm in. Don't worry, we'll hook you up, Anthony. We got you. Usijali.
Yeah.
Tuko pamoja. We're gonna hook you up.
I'm free this weekend and I'll be going back to work until again next year. So I'd like to take this opportunity to go and listen to jazz.
Wow, that's a long leave. All right, okay, don't worry. So go ahead, talk to him.
Well, Anthony, the event is tonight at the Treehouse. It's in parts of Nairobi that's called Museum Hill Parklands. And show starts at 8 o'clock. The doors open. First act is at 9. Keziah Jones comes on around 10:30.
Okay.
Tickets are available at various Java houses around Nairobi. You can also look up more information on Facebook.
How much are the tickets?
Cool Waters Jazz and Roots on Facebook.
Yes.
Tickets, advance tickets are going for 2,500 for tonight's show.
Okay.
And for the Saturday show, they're going for 2,000.
2,000. How many are you giving us, Rashid?
Well, you know, if you got good friends like Mr. Anthony there, are you going to be his date?
No.
I know.
Don't try to hook me up on live TV. No. All right. So listen, guys, we are going, of course, we're going to get at least a ticket for one of you. So all you have to do is just log on to our social media platforms and tell us exactly why you think that you deserve that very coveted ticket for this festival. And we'll see if Rashid can throw in an extra one for tomorrow, all right? For just 2 people to go and enjoy themselves. But it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a really, really great lineup. And we want to encourage you guys to come out and play. It's going to be great, isn't it?
I think so.
I love it. I love the lineup. Is this something that you feel, you know, in terms of the longevity, in terms of the sustainability, that it will be annual? And what kind of support, sponsorship are you looking for?
Well, you know, this is the inaugural edition, right? So in some ways, you kind of just have to do it. And I've gotten some support from some friends, and I've actually had to take out some loans as well.
Oh, wow.
So sponsorship side, I'm looking to show that the event is there, that it's successful, that it has merit. And then, of course, next year, I'm going to be knocking on doors like, hey, edition 1, here's the videos, here's the clips, and we need your support. I would love for it to be an annual festival.
Yes.
I'm inspired by jazz and roots music festivals around the world. There's one in New Orleans called the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage. It's been going on for about 43 years. And one thing that I borrowed from them is they do every year for their festival, they commission an artist, a local artist in New Orleans, to do the festival poster. And I like that idea a lot. So this year for our inaugural edition, we've got Michael Soy, whose artwork you can see in the festival program.
There you go. Can I just show that to my, there it is. Okay, if you just zoom in on that.
So getting him to, you know, just contribute to the idea of this festival, it's been wonderful. So I'm hoping that every year I can have someone else from Nairobi or Kenya in general. So yeah.
This is a call out also to corporate Kenya to stand.
Corporate Kenya, stand with music and stand with the
with
Cool
artists,
Waters Jazz.
absolutely. Keziah Jones, it was such an honor and a pleasure to have you. Welcome home. Welcome to Kenya. We love it when our international artists come to visit and to showcase their work. So he will be, of course, performing tonight, and the Rugged One will be showcased there. But as we wind up, would you like to play us a little? Go for it. All right.
Let's say I'll play a song from.
Not yet. No. I haven't forgotten about the question of the day, y'all. Don't worry.
I'll play a song from one of my albums called Familiarize.
Okay.
Familiarize yourself with me. The weather all is fine. No waiting for the right kind of breeze. The weather all is mine. Communicate across memories, 'cause yesterday's gone. Time to go, don't say, because the tide is calm. I say woo, woo, yeah, woo, woo, yeah, yeah. Familiarize yourself with me, babe. Familiarize yourself with me.
You have a beautiful voice. Wow, beautiful, beautiful. Can we just figure out what a micron is real quick? Let's learn. Let's learn together.
A molecule.
But how is the guitar going to be short as
I don't know.
Micrometer. It's a micro measurement. A micrometer, also commonly known as a micron, is an SI derived unit of length equaling 1/10 with a hyphen of. Me, I was not a mathematician. So now you know. Very tiny. Very, very tiny indeed. Now you know, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, we'll see you right here tomorrow for the Best of AM Live. For now, we bid you adieu. Bye. Thank you, gentlemen.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.